Now we're going to speak about the 6-part conversation and how it can make a gigantic difference in your life. I discovered this after decades, truly decades, of looking for a way to create a deeply peaceful, cooperative, intimate, loving relationship with friends and people that I cared about. A way to really be heard. A way to have people really hear me as well. And I studied so many different modalities. And ultimately, I realized that the first step, of course, was that I had to learn to calm myself down before I even attempted to communicate with anybody else. I mean, there truly wasn't even any point to it. So the very first part of the 6-part conversation, and in a moment you'll see the chart that I created, it's a 6-part conversation, and it begins with self-empathy. And in self-empathy, we are going to be calming ourselves down by noticing what we're feeling, noticing what we need, and being absolutely sure that we don't try to speak until we're calm. Because I could help you create the most brilliant verbiage in the world that would be so ideal for your situation, so ideal for your relationship. But if you're not calm, then the tone of your voice isn't going to be there. The energy you have isn't going to be there. You're going to be in a state that is certainly not a match for the solution you're looking to create. Does that make sense? So when you think about self-empathy, again, you look for what you're feeling and needing. Feeling frightened, feeling angry, feeling sad are the 3 most common emotions that humans have that don't allow us to get our needs met. You can't motivate, inspire anybody when you're frightened or when you're angry or when you're sad, can you? And you've probably seen what happens when people try to motivate you and they're in that state. You want to head for the hills as fast as you can. I know I certainly do. So the trick is to practice self-empathy, and I'm going to give a quick demonstration. So let's just imagine that, and it could be similar to the role plays that you'll see, or it could be different, but let's imagine that I'm, preparing for this video training. So I'm feeling excited and happy and thrilled and all that, but let's face it, if you're going to do a 4-hour video training, probably anyone's going to feel a little anxious because I want to be sure that I contribute to you. And then you would take a deep yogic breath. Or you might have a situation with a family member. You might feel worried because you need cooperation. You might feel confused if you have a situation with your boss because you need information to do a good job. And notice that each of these feelings and needs, I identify what I'm feeling. That's a negative word. Frightened, angry, sad. Then I identify the need. It's always a positive word. I have a need for understanding. I have a need for physical well-being. I have a need for financial security. I have a need for whatever it is, it's a positive word. And then I end with a deep yogic breath. And the breathing is very important. It's essential. It allows you to connect into your soul, into your heart, and into your body. When you do that, then you can be in your heart space. Then you can connect from yourself to that other person. Honestly, you can't until you've brought yourself to peace. And self-empathy is a practice that you want to develop, you want to get to be good at it, you want to prepare by making lists of your feelings and needs, and there's a whole vocabulary. It's very, very important that you understand that the 6-part conversation is actually based on a vocabulary that's new for most of us. Most of us don't have those words ready at hand. So it's crucial, and of course, contact me. I'll be thrilled to send you pages and pages of this. I'll send you feelings words and needs words, and you'll be able to understand. I'll send you a sheet that will allow you to create a self-empathy practice, an empathy practice, etc. Okay, so let's talk about the second part, which is empathy. Now that's empathy for the other person. When you have empathy for the other person, they're going to be interested in listening. And when you take a look at this chart and you look at part 2, empathy, and you'll see this is really about them. It's 100% about them. Now, it's the same feelings and needs vocabulary. So I've calmed myself down. I'm present. Now I'm ready to connect to you. So Bob, I imagine that you may be feeling really irritated because you expected me to call at 3 o'clock and it's 3:30, and it's important to you that you get the respect you deserve. Is that right? Or another example, another scenario. Jane, I can really hear that you're so disappointed because you thought you were going to get that promotion. And then when they announced today that there are no promotions until after the new year, I imagine that you felt really surprised because they had told you that you were in line for the promotion. Is that right? And Jane would probably nod yes, or she might have a lot more to say about it. Another example, something completely different. You're speaking to a small child. You're speaking to a child about homework, let's say. So, oh gosh, Ronnie, I know that you really wanted to go to the movies today, and then your teacher gave you this homework, and you must be feeling so disappointed because you really wanted to see that movie today. Right, honey? And so again, a very simple example of what is that person's feeling, what is that person's need. Now, you don't have to guess correctly. The beauty of this, you don't have to guess correctly. You are simply guessing what someone might be feeling and needing, and the key here is they will let you know if you haven't guessed right. A child, a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old child is perfectly willing and able to say no, or you promised, or anything like that. It doesn't mean that you've got one round of empathy and you're done. Just as when you've started with self-empathy, it may take you 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to calm yourself down. There isn't any way of knowing how long it's going to take you to calm yourself down, just as there isn't any way of knowing how long it's going to take you to calm somebody else down, right? Okay, now, there are many memes that I've developed, and in this training you'll see them. There are a lot of different images with words that I've created, and the purpose of these is to inspire you to see why you want to learn the 6-part conversation in the first place. So here's one example, and as you read it, you see that the purpose of this is to create more love, more intimacy, more joy, more cooperation. And as you master the 6-part conversation, that's what you do. You're inspiring other people to create solutions with you. And again, the only way that you're going to be able to inspire anybody at all is if you calm yourself down before speaking and you calm the other person down. Cut. I can't think straight with all that noise out there, Mark. There's no way. I have to invent these words as I'm saying them,